Hey guys, I'm David and this is Daily Droning, where I haven't really been daily droning for about a year now. This is my first video I'm putting out in a long time, but we got good reasons to make a new video. So this is my maiden flight of the new DJI FPV. So I haven't really done anything with it other than do firmware updates. I haven't gone through all the menu settings, any of that kind of stuff. So we're just gonna dive in and see what the heck we get. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on here. Now, this is my very first flight. I've never flown FPV before, so for this maiden flight, we're gonna stick with normal and sport mode, and then we'll see how that goes and then decide if we're going to go to manual on another battery or not. We may save that for another day, so hang on. And we'll throw the goggles on and see what we get. All right, so it's asking me to select a language. You can go to English, start. Uh-oh, battery firmware inconsistent, flight safety at risk. Tap confirm to update to the latest version. So we'll do that. It's doing a battery firmware update, which I'm a DJI guy. I've been around for a long time. I don't know why I even didn't think about that. The fact that I bought the Fly More kit, so I have a total of 3 batteries. When I did the firmware update, of course, there was only 1 battery in it. This, unfortunately, is a different battery than the one that I did the firmware update in, so I have to do the firmware update on it as well. Hopefully it doesn't take very long. It says it's at 51%, 53%, so we'll see how that goes. So like I said before, I have 0 experience with FPV. I've actually used Liftoff, which is a computer simulator, a few times, but not very much. But I've never flown an actual drone, a real physical drone in FPV. So for this flight, I'm just gonna stick with normal and sports mode, see how that goes, and then decide whether I want to go into full Acro mode or manual as DJI references it. So I'll leave this in normal mode for now. We're at 77%. So DJI, quite honestly, is marketing this particular drone to people exactly like me. People who have been bitten by the drone bug, who probably have only flown camera drones all along and don't have, and I love the sound that the drone makes when it boots up, so maybe that means I'm at 81% right now. DJI is marketing this drone to people just like me. So camera drone guys, people who are looking for a little something more than what just like your standard Mavic or Mavic Mini or Autel Evo or Parrot and Offie or any of those type of camera GPS based drones, but don't really want to get into the full FPV experience. Now, I respect people who have been in the FPV experience, who want to dive in, want to fix things, want to solder, want to be able to bring all the pieces together and say, hey, I built this, and then go tune it and fly it. That's awesome, but right now, quite honestly, that's just not something I'm necessarily interested in doing. I love the flying part. I love the camera, the taking pictures, taking video. That's the stuff I'm into right now. I'm not into, the soldering and building and fixing and all that kind of stuff. And, we'll see how this goes. We'll see if this changes my mind. Maybe this will be the introduction into the full FPV experience that a lot of people talk about, right? So this is kind of that hybrid, right, between, full camera GPS drone and an FPV. Now, is it going to do everything that a full FPV racer or free flyer does? Probably not as good as those purpose-built machines do, but you wouldn't expect it to, right? DJI is marketing it as a hybrid, right, in between the camera GPS drone and FPV. So to compare it with a full-on, carbon fiber, X-frame, full race drone, freestyle drone, it's probably not a fair comparison, because I don't think that's exactly what DJI is really looking for. They're really looking for that people like me that are in between. So hopefully we don't crash it. Hopefully the cost and the time to get it, send it off to DJI to get it repaired, hopefully that doesn't become an issue for me. So I don't know, let's see. where we at on that update? Oh, firmware update is successful. All right, let's motor starting. See, is it recording? So, oh, it says it's recording. All right, so I don't know, remote controller control stick error. I don't know. All right. So the only other people besides myself are some people that are way over there, and I gotta be, this is my first experience in the goggles, so I wonder if I'm gonna be doing the, like, looking around, like, you know, like this is a VR headset or something like that, so I don't know. All right, so meters per second. I like that it shows. Oh. So you can see it kind of buffeting. Maybe that's just me, but you can see it kind of buffeting around in the wind. The wind's blowing, like I said, pretty hard. So, all right. So I'm just in normal mode right now. Flying around. We're at 87% battery already. Doing that little firmware update kind of affected it. So this is bone stock settings. I haven't changed anything. I literally did the firmware update. Oh, so there's those people walking over there. I want to leave them alone. So we'll go fly around this way. Yeah, it's definitely a different experience. Oh, and I'm not sure what happened there. You could see that it like suddenly slowed down. Yep, that's interesting. It suddenly slowed down. It detected objects. Okay. So I do love that basically it is crystal clear in my screen. You know, you don't get the breakup that you always see in the analog FPV videos. So I gotta be careful. Don't want to bother those people that are down there. Yeah, and it's definitely a different experience than your normal camera drone when you get that lean on the drone. And I'm interested to watch this camera back to see if I got the you know, not in a negative way, but the Stevie Wonder, like wandering around, virtual VR goggles. And I think that the sun's I think messing with, you can see the props in the screen, which is actually kind of useful for being able to see what the drone's doing, being able to see them in the screen like that. But I think that the sun maybe was messing with obstacle avoidance. Now it's interesting because just doing a yaw to the left does not just a yaw, it also does kind of a roll as well. So you're not just doing a yaw and turning like this. It's actually yaw and doing a coordinated turn when you just do just the stick, the left stick there. So that's kind of interesting. All right, so I've been recording for about 5 minutes. Says I still have 67% battery. Says I still have 10.5 minutes. You can see the wind kind of buffeting it around. All right, asking my head VO, where are my people at that we're walking? I don't want to mess with them. Let's, oh, there we go. Moving my head around. So again, so far this has been all in just normal mode so far. So let me get out from over the river. That's not a good place to pause and do a little talking. So on the controller here is this rocker switch, which changes from normal to sport mode to manual mode, and by default, which is where I am, even if I switch it to manual mode, it's just going to be in sports mode. You can go through the settings and change that to enable that, but that's kind of a newbie kind of safety feature. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it into sport mode, and I'm not touching the sticks, and you can see it kind of buffeting around. And that's the wind doing that. All right, so that's sports mode now, which definitely gives more speed. Wow, definitely much more speed. So if I change, so that's going 26 meters per second. If I flip that back up to sports mode, then that drops down to like 15 meters per second. It's cool that there's a home point there. That's one of the things that I was always worried about going with the full traditional FPV is with those, there's no GPS in them. There's no way to help orient yourself with those other than you just being, you know, aware of your surroundings and what you're doing. And so with this, it's got a little H in the screen right there that tells you where your home point is and helps you kind of orient yourself. Wow, sports mode really changes it for sure. Wow. Okay, so this is still trying to get used to using the goggles. So it's 39%. Oh, whoa. Aircraft braking, all right. I think I got a little sway going on. I might have to be the guy that pulls up a chair and flies while he's doing that. Now that's a little bit annoying. So I'm flying a little bit closer to the ground, and you can hear it's yelling at me, and the goggle at the top. And I thought all that was supposed to be turned off with sports mode. All right, we're down to 30%. So let's flip that back to normal mode. And we're gonna go a little ways away. So a few things I want to change in the settings before I fly again are I need to change it to Imperial for the distances and speeds and stuff like that. All right, so now I'm down to 26%, and it is doing a low battery return to home right now. So I don't know what height it's going to go to do that. It says I can press the brake button to cancel it, but it's up. There's 70 meters, 80 meters. I don't know why it's going so far away. I don't know why the default setting is so high. Okay. I'm going to take my goggles off to try and land this right here. See if I can. All right, so first flight in the books. Definitely something that's going to take a little bit to get used to. The feeling in the goggles of moving around and standing here and the wind buffeting me and that kind of stuff is going to take a little bit to get used to. But that's you know, it's just one of those things. It's going to take a little bit to get used to. I've read about some people kind of getting you know, nauseous or vertigo or whatever, motion sickness with that feeling in the goggles. So, you know, if you had something that you have, you know, normally, that might be something that, you know, might affect you here. So far, that's pretty fun, though. That was just normal in sports mode. First time I flew. Now I need to play around a little bit with the settings and before I go for my second flight and see how we do with all of that. So I'm going to pause you here, dive into some of my settings, and then maybe go for a little second flight. So hang right there. I made a couple of changes. So first off, I changed how much it actually tilts while it's in sports mode while you're turning. So by default, if you just use the yaw stick, the left, and you turn to the left or the right, which normally just tells it to do a flat yaw. It also, when you're moving forward, does a yaw, but it also does a roll as well. So it does a coordinated turn. So I changed the amount from high to low or something like that in the settings. I also changed the changed it to Imperial so that the speeds and the distances and all that kind of stuff are in feet and miles per hour and stuff like that, which I understand a little bit more. So let's hit the record button. Go ahead and take off. So as you can see, this time I'm also sitting down. And I'm in sports mode. I like that in the lower left corner here, it tells me whether I'm in sports or normal, or, oh, I also enabled manual mode. I'm not gonna play in that for right now. I'm gonna leave it in sports mode. I'll save that for maybe tomorrow. I'll play around with manual mode. I'll play around in the simulator that they give us. Yeah, that's annoying. I'm in sports mode and it keeps, you can hear it beeping every once in a while. Forgot about some wires over there. Alright, so the other thing that I want to find is where the electronic image stabilization settings are at. Some wires there. People are still walking around there, so I don't want to bug them. Yeah, once you get close to the ground, so it says I'm only 3 feet above the ground, but I'm obviously higher than that, 11 feet. And it starts, just keeps beeping at me. Oh. Yeah, if I get anywhere close to the ground, it just starts beeping all the time. So already down to 58%. Been recording for 3 minutes and 45 seconds. You can see it buffeting around. Going 61 miles an hour, that's in sports mode. So it's about 20 miles an hour faster than you're gonna get in pretty much any of the Mavics. It feels like that is screaming. That's pretty good. It saw cool thing. I saw those wires across the river. I do like that it has the one axis. Tell you what, that obstacle avoidance is kind of annoying. But yeah, you can see it bouncing around a lot there. So I need to figure out how to change that. Yeah, you can see in here. There's my people. I'm down to 37%. $35. Yeah, so when you're screaming around like this, I've been flying for 5.5 minutes, recording for 5.5 minutes. It says I have 230 left on the battery, but I'm down to 31%, so let's flip it back into normal mode. Oh, I changed the, so if I press and hold this, return to home, I changed the return to home height. All right, so what do we think about it so far? So I think first off, it's going to take a little while to get used to. I think there's a lot of settings that I need to learn about, figure out. I need to dive in. I couldn't find some of the things that I wanted to find. I think there's some things you can do in DJI Fly that you can't do through the settings in the goggles and vice versa. So I need to figure out what some of those things are, be able to tailor it to what I want to do. And then I got to put some stick time in it and get used to it. I need to play around with the simulator, the DJI virtual, whatever it's called, so that I can try and fly in full Acro. Until I get a little bit of stick time in that, I'm not going to fly this full Acro. I got too much money into it. So Yeah, I mean, I'm the guy that all the FPV guys in the forums are making fun of, spending a bunch of money on a drone that doesn't do exactly what they want it to do. I'm the exact guy that DJI is marketing this towards, where we want to be able to do more than we can do with our Mavics and our general camera drones. I want to be able to fly 60 miles an hour. I don't want to be able to be stuck at 40 miles an hour in sports mode with my Mavic 2 Pro or something like that. Sometimes just having that extra speed is awesome. I love that the signal quality is amazing. I'm zipping around here, didn't have a single breakup. Now, I'm not trying to fly forever. I wasn't really flying behind obstacles and stuff like that, but you know, just super confident in the system, being able to see what you can, what's going on. There's some wires across the river that's right out over here. You could see those. The obstacle avoidance system, I'll sense those as well. The obstacle avoidance system is, even in sport mode, I thought it would like shut it off, but it doesn't shut it off. You could hear the controller continuing to beep at me while I was flying in sport mode, and you could see at the top of the goggles it would turn red and orange when it thought you were too close to stuff, which quite honestly was too aggressive because I was just flying across this flat ground here and you know, just a few feet above the ground, and it was just freaking out. Going, you know, just screaming at me the whole time for that obstacle avoidance. So, but overall, I mean, my first impressions are, dang, that's going to be a lot of fun once I learn how to fly in full acro. But I can see how, you know, a lot of people who are traditional FPV enthusiasts, this isn't for them, right? The way that it's built, I mean, it's built like compared to like anything I own, like the Mavics, the Autel Evo 2, the, you know, any of those camera drones, this thing is built, you know, crazy super steady. It is not meant to go full speed into a tree or something like that, the way that a full carbon fiber frame for a traditional FPV drone is designed to be. And those are designed to be just, you take a piece off, you replace it, and you're up and flying. This is not really meant for that. This is really meant for more of the type of stuff that I'll probably be doing with it, racing up and down the river, or racing around things. And I say race, you know, not race, I'm not racing somebody else, but, you know, just flying fast, having fun, being able to do other things that I can't do with my Mavic 2 Pro, with my Mavic, with my Mini 2, with my Autel Evo, different things like that. This is just a different drone, right? It gives me a different thing to do, something fun, something I enjoy. You know, so I'm excited that DJI brought this out. I think that it's going to open up the door to FPV, real FPV. This is going to be kind of that stepping stone for a lot of people that's going to take them from diving into just flying Mavics and that kind of stuff. They're going to buy this and they're going to get hooked, and they're going to go into full FPV, right? They're going to get the bug, and they're going to want to solder, and they're going to want to build, and they're going to want to fix and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, that's fantastic. For a lot of people who are like me in my current mindset, you know, I don't want to build that stuff. I don't want to take the time to do that. I understand why people want to do that, but right now that's just not something that I'm interested in. I want to get out and fly. I want to take pictures. I want to take video, things like that. And yes, I know this is not a picture drone. You're not taking photos with this, but that's one of the reasons why I fly camera drones. I love taking photos. I love taking great sunset photos and photos of different things. That's not this, right? So I guess, oh, I left my controller on. So overall, that's kind of my summary. That I think this is awesome. I think I'm gonna super enjoy it as long as I don't crash it and kill it and have to spend a lot of money and time sending it back to DJI. Until then, I think I'm going to have a ton of fun with it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. It's good to finally get another video out. I enjoyed this. I can't wait to fly it some more. And I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to get out and go fly it. And if you did like this and want to see more content, hit that subscribe button, hit that like. I plan to put out a lot more videos. It won't be another year before the next video. I guarantee that. So get out and go fly it and have a great day. See you guys.